The conclusion of the long MiHoYo voice actors strike apparently is coming to an end.
Guys, we've got another update in the VA situation, and this one is definitely a pretty big, pretty crazy one.
All right.
So we're here on Hoyo Lab version 1.7, bury your tears for the past update details, and in this update, it seems like a number of voice actors for Zenless Zone Zero, that of course being a Hoyoverse game, number of these VAs have been replaced. Interestingly enough, taking a look at those VAs, it seems like they were indeed promoting the thing. I'm not saying that is definitively why they got replaced. I'm simply saying that that is additional context. So back over on Hoyo Lab, check this part out, specifically for patch 1.7 adjustments and optimizations, where they say changes the English voice actors for agents Kalinda, Grace, and Rena, and replaces the corresponding voice lines.
Oh.
We can see some duality in the immediate responses. For example, this user saying, return all the original VAs and apologize. Collective action is a fundamental human right. Response.
And you want to know what else is their right? It's their right to refuse to do business with you. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy how it works? That's crazy. You don't want to work? Then okay, well, I have the right to go seek someone else. Damn.
This is reading, you could still delete this. And the VAs are at fault. They decided not to work, so Hoyoverse has given these people so much time to either present them agreeable terms that don't involve screwing over the non-union talent that are also working on their games.
I don't believe in anyone's right to like force someone else to give them something. I only believe in rights where people are not allowed to do things to you. That's it. You have no right for other people to give you stuff. And in this case, it's the contract to work for them. They don't owe that to you.
Or to simply return to work. So let's check this out.
I hate this idea that people have rights to force other people to like do stuff for them. I hate that.
As mentioned, get some more information.
It's not
on
real.
The involvement that these people may or may not have with the strike / collective work refusal against Hoyoverse. So here's the VA.
The only people who believe in that are like unironically commies.
For Kalota. And just scrolling a little bit, we can see, let's see here, gaming awards. Okay, that's not the SAG-AFTRA thing. Scrolling a little bit more, we can see that Katie Cofield here retweeted Koi Dao saying, this is not a union actor versus non-union actor conflict. The goal of the strike is to ensure that this craft isn't lost to AI. We've got a common goal, which is why so many non-union actors are holding the line alongside their union cast.
Are these people lying? Like, okay, do you think they know that they're lying? Like, do they actually not know? Like, are they in a state where like they say this shit, but they actually don't know what it means? Or are they actually just lying to everybody for their benefit? It's so bullshit because the whole point of it becoming a union job is that you can't hire people from outside the union. That's the whole point. What the fuck are they talking about?
Mates, despite having no obligation to do so. Well, I wouldn't say so many. It seems like some have.
Leaflit, do you believe in the right of anime protagonists to bang their sisters or stepsisters? Shakeoval, what could possibly possess you to ask that? Anyway.
Obligation is, as these people have already made very clear, a social obligation. If they go against the strike and these other VAs, then they're going to get harassed on Twitter or potentially blacklisted, as we saw Shara Kirby talking about. Another one similarly saying, also retweeted by Katie Cofield, of course. Guys, if a non-union game were to flip union, no non-union actors would not be fired. More details in quoted thread, but basically, non-union actors can work on union video games. While, yes, of course, misinformation can spread on Reddit as it can anywhere, the fact is a lot of these VAs have also been spreading misinformation, and much of it intentionally misleading and manipulative. As for the non-union actor part, well, this goes back to what we were discussing from Joe Zeech's video, where these non-union actors would essentially have to beg SAG not to terminate them and replace them with union talent. And as we've discussed many times, and as you guys know, based off the statements made by SAG executives, based on the policies on their own website, and the disparaging remarks of many of their members on social media, we can't reasonably expect that they're going to treat the non-union actors well. As a matter of fact, the reasonable conclusion is the inverse, that they wouldn't. Katie Cofield had also retweeted some other damage control stuff. As you can see, this is all from like back on March 19th, March 14th, and also the ones we read were like March 26th and respectively also March 26th. This is all stuff that has been refuted time and time again since then. This is like a month later, just giving you context as mentioned as to what you might consider their involvement or their stance, right? This sort of thing. On to the next VA, that being Chelsea Kwoka, VA for Grace Howard in Zenless Zone Zero and Shanha in Genshin Impact, although it seems like that may no longer be the case. Yep. We seem to know that already for ZZZ, but we'll see what happens with Genshin. And scrolling, let's see if there's anything about the SAG-AFTRA stuff. Oh my gosh, this one was especially interesting. This is the one where Eneris, another VA, had made a tweet that is no longer available because I think she deleted it. Pretty sure that's what happened. But that was the one which, you know what, I'll just go find it and like edit together. Give me 1 second. There we go.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If anyone posts this unironically, I immediately don't take you seriously.
I'll just go find it and like edit together. Give me 1 second. There we go. This one where Nera said, "Hey, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, ZZZEN. We English VAs would love to get back to work. I know the fans miss hearing their favorite Karas, and we miss voicing them. Please negotiate with SAG-AFTRA and sign the interim
I
agreement."
also find it like really interesting that like people like have there's like skin tone versions of like different like emotes now. When like yellow was kind of like just the general one, right? That's kind of like the everybody one. And then like it's like people were like, it needs to literally be my skin tone. It's wild. Like I don't understand, man. It's
to guarantee AI protections for us, which the official Twitter account for SAG-AFTRA said, what a narrative.
Imagine not being able to relate with an emote because it's not the same color as you. Like that is like such maximum levels of mental illness. Like I can't even begin to understand like where that starts.
Genshin Impact Honkai Star Rail ZZEN will make it easy for you. Here's a link to our interactive video game media agreements. Let's talk soon. Wink. This, of course, being especially interesting given the information that was provided from Joe Zege's video.
It's to divide us? Yeah, probably.
The collective work refusal from these VAs is not an official strike through SAG-AFTRA, but then here was SAG-AFTRA trying to put some public social pressure on Hoyoverse.
God, this guy makes me want to play Marvel Rivals again. Should I play Marvel again? I haven't played in a while.
To sign that agreement. And let me point something else out here. This is something I probably should have mentioned in prior videos. Totally my bad for not doing this.
Fun.
But when you click that link, it takes you to a page on SAG-AFTRA that leads you to 2 other links that show agreements. But those agreements are sample agreements. So I really don't think it works like that. I don't think a Hoyoverse, excuse me, can just like click that and like sign it. Oh, there you go. It's so easy. Like, no, first of all, they're sample agreements. And second, we don't know that those are the actual agreements being presented to Hoyoverse either, because again, it's all just samples. This is just another example.
It's probably different, like negotiated, right?
That group of VAs and SAG-AFTRA are trying to make it look like, oh, it's so easy. We're just barely asking for anything, you know, just sign this Hoyoverse. It's so simple. But in reality, it really doesn't seem to be as simple as they're trying to let on to the public. Okay, so we've taken a look at 2 of the VA's Twitter accounts who were seemingly let go from Hoyoverse's Zenless Zone Zero. We've got one more to take a look at, but before we do, on the note that I just mentioned regarding the whole
the funny thing is the more the union does this, the less power that they're going to have, because eventually people are just going to be like, fuck it, we're just going to hire indies, and they're going to completely lose power.
After a thing, we've actually got to take a look over.
They have to convert people, basically. It's like the only way that they have any power is to convert more people and convert more projects. It's the only way.
Loose guy, because Little Kribo
otherwise they have no leverage.
That I think would make for a perfect segue real quick. Earlier today, Little Kribo had this to say: actors saying, quote, "This strike is about AI protections," unquote, never meant that it was exclusively about that.
That's what they talk about all the time, though.
Fans seem to have decided they were lied to regardless. Wow, what a change of the tune here, huh?
Dude, these guys, these people, they're just digging. They're digging deeper, man. They're digging deeper.
Yes, indeed. A lot of these VAs were saying that the strike is
like
just about
unreal levels of gaslighting.
And the ones that were not outright saying it were certainly implying it. But since the fandoms have been looking into all this stuff more thoroughly, and we've found that we've been getting misled, now suddenly they're saying, guys, the strike was never just about AI protections. It was never exclusively about that. Yeah, okay, bro. But it's really funny how Little Kribo doesn't seem to be directly involved with this situation. He just continues to interject himself into it over and over again. And it's like consistently, in my opinion at least, making it worse for that side. Like, you gotta wonder, is bro a sleeper cell? Is this just like, is this some like 4D chess he's trying to pull here or something for Hoyoverse? Is this like a secret Hoyoverse agent? I'm kidding. Surely not the case, but it is pretty funny. I think I saw some people saying the same thing about Paimon's VA too, Karina. Like, you gotta wonder about these people sometimes, man. That's how bad their points are. Okay, so we had previously left off on the Twitter account for Chelsea Quokka, the VA or previous VA for Grace Howard, and how she was retweeting SAG-AFTRA's like signal boosting of Eneris's now deleted tweet, trying to get Hoyoverse to publicly, making a public tweet at Hoyoverse, trying to get them signed agreement. Okay, there we go. Better phrasing. And also had retweeted Koi Dao, we can see here, Once again, something else from like back in late March that had been thoroughly refuted by the fandoms. So we've seen how Katie Cofield was retweeting this sort of stuff. Chelsea Kwoka was retweeting this sort of stuff. And now that takes us over to Crystal Lee, the third VA from the patch notes for ZZZ, who seems to be getting replaced. You can see also the VA for Chlorine. Once again, my bad for the mispronunciation. Please correct me in the comments. Hopefully I can remember it though. And let's see if there's any sort of similar stuff going on with this account. Well, yes, indeed. There is a retweet of that same Koi Dao thread. Some of the other retweets we saw earlier were not the first tweet in the thread, but like other follow-up posts from Koi. Anything else here? Let's see. Back on March 26th. Oh, this is an interesting one. Wow. So retweeted John Patton-Wad, specifically retweeting Courtney Lynn, who seems to be another VA there with Atlas, who had
too many names,
John
man. Too many names.
This being the statement
I can't
John
remember
Patton-Wad had
all
made,
these names.
I believe, after Jacob Takanashi's statement as replacing him for the role of Kenichi. Courtney Lynn had said, sending all the support to John. He is a class act and wonderful actor. Actors deserve AI protections. Bro,
Any luck with the
minutes
Switch?
after reading the the Blue Sky post from Little Kribo,
Still,
who was all like, actors
still
were
in a
never
waiting
saying
line.
it was just AI protections. We have a perfect example of how they were framing it as just that. We've had so many examples of this, of course, but here's another one.
What the fuck? It kicked me out of
What
line.
perfect timing that is. Oh my gosh, dude.
I'm still in line at
Unbelievable.
Walmart.
The best way to support real actors in jobs. Is that like a slight at Jacob Takanashi, by the way? Like that framing?
I've been in line
Best way
forever.
to support real
at Walmart.
actors in jobs, okay, is to let the dev companies know, and also don't take actions that would undermine strike efforts. That definitely, in my opinion, seems like a jab at Jacob Takanashi. And also like non-union actors in general, because this has been rhetoric from SAG. Like they literally have a page on their website talking about how the union actors are better than those lowly non-union actors. Oh my gosh. Scrolling slightly further, we can see that Crystal Lee had also retweeted this damage control tweet from Ashley Biskey. And I've only scrolled for like seconds, probably less than a minute, on each of these three VAs Twitter accounts, but I think I've seen plenty to, at least in my opinion, come to a reasonable assessment of where they probably stand on all this stuff. Of course, the three VAs I'm referring to being the ones that seem to be getting replaced on Zenless Zone Zero. Now, once again, I'm not saying why they got replaced. I just decided to take a look into some more context on what may be a possible reason. Potentially, maybe Hoyoverse is getting sick of dealing with this strike or collective work refusal, however you want to put it. Who knows for sure, but it is certainly an interesting update in what seems to be...
You want to know what this is, I think? I'm going to criticize my own people for a second here. You know how there's a big perception in the world that Americans believe that they're the center of the world? Because, I mean, let's be real, we kind of are in a lot of cases, but it's not the case when it comes to anime games. When it comes to like video game dubbing, America's not the center of the world, right? Like there's a lot of companies, like up and coming, like rising companies that are in different countries. So it's just like almost like they can't even imagine that like there could be people that aren't in their guild, not in their union, and like can't even join their union because they're not even from the same country. Right. So that's kind of what it feels like. Right.
The still ongoing situation. This following right around 1 month now.
It's like, I wonder if that's what it is. It's like kind of like people thinking that they're still the center of everything. And that's like the reason why they can do this when like most people don't care. Like they're not really considering people from other countries at all. Right.
John Patton-Wad was replaced in the role of Kenichi by VA Jacob Takanashi. So let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments. Hope you enjoyed my coverage. If you did, please consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate ya, and I'll see you in the next one.
Man.
Guys,
we'll see what this actually means, because I mean the actual subject of the video, we don't know yet. So we'll see if like what Hero Hei thinks it is actually like going to be the case here. So